Old Alabama Gardener, and it's time for another update on growing big slicing onions. The reason I point out that it is 19 days past the longest day of the year is that onions usually will reach their largest size about the longest day of the year. And of course for us, that's around the 21st of June, and now I'm already at the 10th of July. So that's why I'm talking about that. All right, this is 10th of July 2020, and I'm sitting in front of the onion bed again, as you have seen me do at many of the videos in this series. So we're going to take a look at what's going on here with our growing big slicing onions all the way from seed. And I remember these onions over here on this side I planted on the 15th day of October in 2019, in other words last autumn. These onions over here I planted the seed the 23rd of January 2020 inside the house and growed them out to the transplant point here. So let's take a look at these onions, and we'll start over here on this side. Now remember, these seeds were started 15th of October, as I said. That was 269 days ago. So these have been growing 269 days. So I got a little homemade caliper here. Maybe it will work for us. We'll put it there. And then I'll take a regular ruler and we'll measure from there to there, almost, not quite, but almost 2.5 inches. We'll call it 2.25. 2.25 inches in diameter for that onion. And that's probably about the biggest onion in this row. Now we'll move over here to the other side. And let's just pick on this big one right there. So that onion is 2 3/4 inches in diameter. Pretty nice onion. The top still has a little bit of green in it. So I don't know whether that onion is still growing or not. I think it is, so I'm going to leave it for a little while, and then we'll come back and check it again later. Now remember that these onions over here was the ones that I started to seed in January of this year. So let's look at this one now. It's still got a little bit of green in it. So let's see if we can measure it here. That's a little bit over 2.5 inches in diameter. So that's a pretty good sized onion. Let's go down the row here and look at another one. Now look at that. That's almost 3 inches in diameter. a 3-inch in diameter onion, pretty good sized onion. All right, we're coming out the back door. We're going out to the big garden. We'll go around this way. While we're walking out to the big garden, we might as well munch on a Sweet 100 tomato. And while we're here, we can munch on some blackberries. Okay, so here was the row of onions, and you can see that we're getting here where we can see this one right here. Now these were short day onions. Now you see that the top is completely dead. Okay, so I don't think it's growing anymore. So we'll take it up and out. That's a pretty good sized onion. Now we've been following this onion, and this is one that I bought at the store. Cut it this way, not slicing it this way, and then I planted the core back in here. Now it had a couple side shoots, which I just now took them off, growing out here. So had I taken them off earlier, that onion would have been significantly larger. So but we'll see what it does even from now on out. We'll let it go. Now on this side, I had that row there, and I had this row here. I had a few onions in that row. So basically I had a double row. I would put my fertilizer down out there, and I would also put it down here in the middle. And over here on this row, I only put the fertilizer down on one side all the way through. So the question becomes, did these onions get more fertilizer than those onions over there? I don't know. There's hardly no way to tell. But so let's look at the results. The results are that consistently these onions here are larger. You can see it all the way down compared to these onions over here.